We're going to get started in just one moment. All right. Welcome, directors, administrators, teachers, staff, all professional early educators. My name is Liz Smoley. I'm a mother of 2 young children and have a classroom of 20. I'm finishing up my bachelor's degree in education and leadership, early childhood education at SPC. Today, I will be sharing a play-based early childhood education lesson activity plan. Now, moving on. The targeted learning domains obtained from the Florida Early Learning and Developmental Standards include creative expression through the arts, sensory art experience, using imagination and creativity to express self with intention using a variety of open-ended, process-oriented, and diverse art materials. Children will paint on the surface of different textures, and today's textures we're using is paper. So there's different textures on the paper. And this one's nice and big. I got these at Joann Fabrics, and they were actually on sale. So it's even better. And I found some others that actually have like a soft, almost like a fabric finish on here. And I have some like wax paper type. And the other surface will be the rocks that they'll be playing on. So we have many textures today. Another domain of learning included in today's objectives is the creative expression through the arts. Imaginative and creative play expresses and represents thoughts, observations, imaginations, feelings, experiences, and knowledge verbally or non-verbally using a variety of objects in own environment. And I forgot to set my timer here, but I'm going to do that so that to be respectful of your time and mine. So moving on, we must always remember an activity ceases to be play and children's interests dwindle if adults structure or even interfere inappropriately with play. So as we move on, we'll keep that in mind. A second domain of learning is fine motor development. Increases coordination, hand-eye movements to perform a variety of actions with increasing precision. So the children will be manipulating little pieces of paper and holding paintbrush and squeezing glue, picking up googly eyes and sticking them on their little rocks. So there'll be many opportunities for that hand-eye coordination and fine motor development. Today's activity is very hands-on as children play, manipulate, and create freely. Growth of imagination results from play. Also, muscles develop and play. Play is an activity. It does not necessarily result in a product. In this activity, children are creating fish rocks, but we must keep in mind the process is more important than the product. The Florida Early Learning Standards benchmark regarding play we are observing in this activity is D, imagination and creative play. It indicates children are persistent in an activity for at least 10 minutes. The play observed with this activity will be at least 10 minutes. Play is the mechanism by which children learn how they experience their world, practice new skills, and internalize new ideas. It is essential for children. We will be taking a closer look at how play is integrated into this visual art 3D rock painting learning activity. I'm going to try to share my screen here so that we can take a closer look at the objectives first, and then second, all the materials that are required. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. I think I have it right here. right, so the age group is for 3 and 4 years old. Small group is best for this activity in a learning center, 4 children at a time. The time that's required is 60 minutes. This should be during the free choice center play. So we already addressed all of these domains here. The objective, children will be able to use imagination and creativity to express self with intention using a variety of open-ended, process-oriented, and diverse art materials. They will also express and represent thoughts about self, verbally or non-verbally, and that's important and key in this activity, using a stone or rock from their own environment and a variety of art materials. All right, moving down here, all the materials that are needed are listed. So we are going to be using this book right here. It's only 1U, and we're going to use a shatterproof length mirror. This will be used as a tool when the children are selecting their rocks. They can use the mirror to kind of look at themselves and see what kind of characteristics they have and make connections between which rock will represent their characteristics the most. And so this kind of will connect and tie in self-expression. Rocks and stones. Now, to involve the children in gathering these materials, it would be wonderful if it was a prior learning activity for the children to gather rocks, maybe at home, like a home activity, or like if you went on a nature walk outside or on the playground, if there's some sort of stones. And I did this activity at home with my son. So we gathered rocks that represented our family. So we gathered 3 rocks, and one was for me, the mom, and the 2 sons, and all 3 rocks we gathered together for this activity. Here's our finished products, 1, 2, and 3. So we gathered those, and my son had fun with it. He chose a small little rock. He is the youngest in the family. Now, I found these online, these paste pens, glue pens, but I did not find them at the store. But I did find these little squeeze bottles, and they are 1 ounce. So they're just a little bit, can fit inside each. I filled it up with the white glue and thought for 3 and 4-year-olds to be manipulating glue themselves. This provides them a way to be independent with the white glue. They can just hold it upside down, give it a squeeze, and it's only 1 ounce of glue. So, I mean, they can use it freely. I also put paint in them so that, again, the children can squeeze the paint independently. It's only 1 ounce of paint. There's no wasting, and they have freedom to be able to squeeze and pour their own paint and glue. The small pieces of scrap paper I have organized in a little tray. As you can see back here, I have another activity that I like organizing in these dip containers, but I also like recycling. So this is an old Publix cupcake container that I'm using to kind of organize the different textured paper scraps and the googly eyes. Now, you can involve the children, the 3 and 4-year-olds, in gathering these materials needed for the craft. A prior activity could be that children just cut scrap paper with this texture scrap paper, and it can have a whole nother objective of hand-eye coordination using scissors. But little do the 3 and 4-year-olds know, they're really helping you gather this needed material for creating their fish another day. And it's not wasting the scrap paper, so it's wonderful. So moving down here, we also have the tempera paint. Make sure it's non-toxic, natural fiber bristles, 6-inch long, 3/4 inch bristle is best for the young 3 and 4-year-olds. I have some thinner paintbrushes here because I'll be the one painting, but that's what's recommended for the young children, age 3 and 4. Cardboard to use to keep the art safe while it's drying. Smocks, I found these very cute smocks at Joann Fabrics, and this is wonderful for the children to be able to create freely without being interrupted or like worrying about their clothing because it's covered, it's protected, so they can create freely and make as much of a mess as they want to because they have this on. So it's wonderful to have and important in this activity. A notepad for the teacher to document, and digital camera to document as well, and the undersea backdrop. I found some at Party City, but you don't need it quite as large. I also found this one. It's just a paper at Joann Fabrics. So craft stores do have what's needed. Now the procedure, moving down, the introduction is the story itself. Now, due to only having a few more minutes, I'm going to play the video and kind of respect our time and show you the process. So I'm going to share my screen once again here, and you can see I have the materials all out ready to go. Here we go. New share. And
want you in the credits. It's time, Papa says.
I think it is.
Mama agreed.
Time for what?
Patrick asked. Papa's voice softened. You share some wisdom. Always be on the lookout for a new friend. Look for beauty wherever you are and keep the memory of it with you. Blend in when you need to. Stand out when you have the chance. Find your own way. You don't have to follow the crowd. Know when to speak. Know when to listen. No matter how you look at it, there's so much to discover. If you make a wrong turn, circle back. If something gets in your way, move around it. Set aside some quiet time to relax and reflect every day. Appreciate art. It's all around you. Make wishes on the stars in the nighttime sky.
now on that note, with just a minute here to finish up, I would like to share with you some tips about using beginning, middle, and end. So whenever you are reading the story, or post-story, I should say, it's vital, and you can use this as a technique by mentioning the beginning, middle, and end of the book. Offer questions to the children. Have the children discuss what happens at the beginning of the book. The mama and papa fish agree that little fish is ready. The middle of the book, mama and papa give the little fish some advice and encouragement about life. At the end of the book, mama and papa release little baby fish. And the very last page reminds us to make it a better place. So after the story is finished, explained at the Creative Art Station today, you will have the opportunity to create a rock fish. At the beginning of this activity, you think, if you were a fish, how would you look? At the middle of this activity, create a fish using the materials that are all prepared, ready to go. At the end of the activity, please put your rock painting in the box to dry. Now pretend like you are a fish and move like you're a fish, swimmy, 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 to find a center for play. Now, being prepared is vital, so make sure that you have all the materials out, ready to go, because we don't want to interrupt the children's play. We want them to be able to create. There are some questions that can kind of promote thinking about self and characteristics, like what rock do you think most represents your characteristics? And this is whenever you can talk about characteristics, your features, and explain whenever the child looks in the mirror, oh, look, I see you have blue eyes. Yeah, that's a characteristic. Like, oh, like, look, there's a heart on this fish. Maybe that's like kind heart. And then you can just build the vocabulary as you're speaking. Remember not to stifle the play in gathering the observations, but you want to just sit back and kind of watch and explain and write down any documented observations and the children's responses to the questions and as they're playing. Now, follow-up activity is fun here because it's a second kind of play-ish activity. I might be running over slightly, but this is really important and I want to share it with you. All right, so I'm going to share the screen one more time. Here is my lesson plan. So moving down, the children will do it and create the closure transition after the activity. Hang on, baby, outside. Is whenever they will put their rock in the box to dry. Now right over here, so this follow-up activity, I actually did this activity with my little who just ran by the back of the screen here. And we kind of played with the rocks that we created. So it was real fun as we made our family of 3. And here he is the littlest rock, and here's the mama rock with the heart, and the other brother rock, the big brother. And then we were playing with these, and it was really cute because I was like, oh, like my fishy loves your fishy. And then we played some more. But in the classroom, it wouldn't be necessarily the teacher playing with the children, but see how the children interact with one another as they play with their props in their play. And it was really fun using this backdrop, and even these documented pictures kind of came out like another form of artwork. And it's a great way to remember and document progress and just have fun. So wrapping up, I want to say thank you very much for listening. And I'm sorry I went a little bit over here. There are additional parts of the lesson plan that we did not quite touch base on, but thank you very much for your time, and hope to see y'all again.